Hello, I'm Leah. I'm a Chinese and I watched Japanese animation since I was in primary school and I love Japanese food TV dramas. So I will be the chef for this video and we will make Japanese egg cuisines.
Hi, my name's Millie. I'm white Australian and Indigenous Australian. I grew up in a small country town with limited exposure to any Japanese cuisine.
Hi, my name's Lydia. I was born in England, but I grew up most of my life in Australia, and that has meant that I haven't really been exposed too much to Japanese culture.
Japanese cuisine has been influenced by the food customs of other nations, but has adopted and refined them to create its own unique cooking style and eating habits. Today, we bring you two egg meals. The first is called tamagoyaki, which is the sweet egg roll. And the second one is omelette, which is the omelette covered on rice.
I've tried sushi before. I love sushi. That's pretty much it. I haven't had a lot of experience with Japanese food that's not very westernized. My ideal of sushi is probably very different to traditional Japanese sushi.
Yeah, I'm the same, really haven't had much opportunities to try Japanese food. I remember the first time I tried Japanese food was on a school excursion, and I thought it was quite different to anything I'd had before, but yeah, I enjoyed it.
I think I can use chopsticks when I go to Chinatown or something. I always try, but I feel like my technique is probably not very accurate and I just kind of have a go.
Yeah, I'm not great at using chopsticks. We don't really use them every day in our households, but yeah.
I only ever use them not every day, it's twice a year, so
yeah.
I feel like every time I just kind of make it up.
Yeah, and often in Japanese restaurants in Australia, they do offer you a knife and fork anyway.
Yeah,
so
there's always a backup,
yeah,
safe option.
So you're never forced to use them. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't eat egg very often. Now if I eat it, it's usually for breakfast. I don't really eat it for any other meal. Typical millennial, poached eggs and avocado on toast. I remember I used to sometimes eat egg for dinner during high school, omelettes when mum didn't want to cook. But it was very the full American omelette. I don't know, I don't really usually like eating egg on its own. It's always with something else.
I remember when I was younger, every day after school, my mum would make me either scrambled eggs on toast or an omelette. And I think it's because that's what she ate growing up in England. It's omelettes and scrambled eggs are very traditional British foods.
The egg is called tamago in Japanese, and this is the most common ingredient in the Japanese diet. Eggs are enjoyed in many sweet and savory dishes in Japan. The sweet egg roll is the firm staple side dish in biendong, the boxed lunch. This quick and yummy dish gained popularity among moms and students.
I've never had cold egg before.
Yeah, that's going to be a new thing.
I don't know how I'm going to go with that. Let's hope this doesn't go everywhere. The texture's kind of different to what I thought. It's not an omelette texture that I'm used to.
It's more almost foamy.
It kind of reminds me of those sushi, those ones covered in egg. I don't know what they're called. And it feels more like a dessert.
Yeah. It's salty, but it's more sweet, I'd say. Yeah.
The omelette rice is a perfect example of how Japanese cuisine has been influenced by China and Western cultures. Speaking about the history of chopsticks, it was originally coming from China. Early chopsticks were used mainly for cooking, and today I found both Chinese and Japanese still use chopsticks as both eating and cooking utensil. In my experience, I found to me cooking with chopsticks is actually much easier than with the wooden spoon.
Okay.
I've never
weird
had
to
like
do.
egg and rice like this together
Yeah.
before. But it looks nice and it smells nice.
Yeah.
It definitely feels more familiar than the
Mm.
other one. Like, I think with the tomato sauce as well, it reminds me of like
Yeah.
American style omelettes
Yeah.
that you have at home. The fried
Yeah.
rice reminds me of like the Chinese store
Yeah.
in Australia as well, where you get like the typical like fried rice with like peas and
Yeah.
corn in it.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say is the egg texture is a little bit more different than I'm used to.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot more like, I don't know, I guess the way it's cooked, it's a little like the texture's different.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely is different than like the omelettes we have
Yeah.
here, yeah.
It's nice though, I like it. I think I like this one better just because I feel like it's more used to what
Mm.
I normally eat. The fried rice doesn't feel that different from like fried rice that I used to buy at like a Chinese store when I was growing up. And the omelette's a lot more similar to like what I'm used to from growing up as well.
Yeah, I think I'd agree. This one seems more familiar. The omelette almost feels like scrambled eggs as well. This one's pretty sweet. I'm not used to sweet egg, but I still really like it. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
It feels like a dessert almost. Yeah,
It feels more like I'm not used to eating cold egg
Yeah.
or sweet egg
sweet egg.
for like
yeah.
a meal.
Yeah,
So it's a bit unusual, but it's nice.
yeah, and the texture is a bit different. It's more like foamy. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
With this one as well, you're right. Like even though it does feel more familiar as like an omelette, the texture's more like scrambled eggs.
Yeah.